Fascism is a dangerous and authoritarian political ideology that emerged in the early 20th century. It is characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and strong regimentation of society and the economy. It centers around extreme nationalism and the suppression of opposition. Fascist regimes often glorify the state above all else, promoting a sense of unity and purpose that is enforced through strict control and propaganda. Fascists believe in a strong, centralized government led by a dictator. This leader is often portrayed as a heroic figure who embodies the will of the nation and whose authority is unquestionable. They reject democracy and individual rights, viewing them as threats to the unity and strength of the state. In a fascist regime, dissent is not tolerated, and those who oppose the government are often met with severe punishment. Fascism seeks to create a society where everyone conforms to the will of the state. Individual freedoms are sacrificed for the perceived greater good, and personal ambitions are subordinated to the goals of the nation. This ideology thrives on fear and violence. Fascist leaders use these tools to maintain control, instilling a sense of fear among the populace to prevent rebellion and ensure compliance. Fascist regimes often employ propaganda and censorship to control information. By manipulating the media and spreading false narratives, they shape public perception and maintain their grip on power. They use force to silence critics and maintain power. Political opponents, activists, and anyone who dares to speak out against the regime are often imprisoned, tortured, or even killed. Understanding fascism is crucial to recognizing and combating its resurgence in the modern world. By studying its history and tactics, we can better defend against the threats it poses to democracy and human rights today. Fascism emerged in Europe in the early 20th century. This period was marked by significant turmoil and instability. The First World War had just ended, leaving many nations devastated. Economic crises, including hyperinflation and unemployment, gripped several countries. Social unrest and political polarization were widespread. In this climate of fear and uncertainty, fascism offered a seductive promise of order and strength. People, disillusioned with traditional political systems, were drawn to charismatic leaders who promised to restore national pride and prosperity. Fascism capitalized on these anxieties, exploiting them to gain power. Fascism, while complex, exhibits several defining characteristics. One of the most prominent is its emphasis on authoritarian leadership. Fascist regimes are typically headed by charismatic figures who claim to embody the national will. These leaders demand absolute obedience and suppress any form of dissent. Another key feature is ultranationalism. Fascists promote an extreme form of nationalism, often based on myths of past greatness and a desire for national rebirth. They frequently scapegoat minority groups, blaming them for the nation's problems and promoting xenophobia and racism. Section 4. Fascism in action: Mussolini's Italy and Hitler's Germany. Benito Mussolini's Italy and Adolf Hitler's Germany serve as stark examples of fascism in action. Both leaders exploited the socio-political turmoil of their times to establish totalitarian regimes that left indelible marks on history. Mussolini, who came to power in 1922, established a dictatorship that glorified the state and suppressed individual liberties. His vision of a new Roman Empire was built on aggressive nationalism and militarism. His regime utilized violence and intimidation through groups like the Black Shirts to silence opposition. These paramilitary squads were notorious for their brutal tactics, which included assaults, forced confessions, and even murder. Hitler, capitalizing on Germany's post-World War I humiliation and economic hardship, rose to power in 1933. He promised to restore Germany's former glory, which resonated deeply with a population suffering from economic instability and national shame. His Nazi regime, rooted in extreme nationalism, racism, and anti-Semitism, implemented policies that led to the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews. The horrors of the concentration camps and the ghettos remain a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and prejudice. Both Mussolini and Hitler formed the Axis powers, aligning their nations in a bid for global dominance. Their aggressive expansionist policies plunged the world into the devastating conflict of World War II, leaving a legacy of destruction and human suffering. While the horrors of World War II discredited fascism, concerns have arisen about its resurgence in modern politics. Some political figures and movements have exhibited tendencies reminiscent of fascist ideology, sparking debate and concern among scholars and the public alike. The rise of far-right groups, particularly in Europe and the United States, has fueled these concerns. These groups often espouse nationalist, anti-immigrant and authoritarian views. Their rhetoric and tactics, including the use of violence and intimidation, have raised alarms about the potential erosion of democratic norms. Section 6. Expert Perspectives on Fascism, Insights from Leading Scholars. Scholars have dedicated significant effort to understanding and defining fascism. Their work spans decades and involves meticulous research, analysis of historical events, and the study of political movements. These scholars aim to provide a comprehensive understanding of the complex and often contradictory nature of fascism. Roger Griffin, a prominent historian, characterizes fascism as a revolutionary form of extreme nationalism that incorporates racism, xenophobia, and a culture of violence. Griffin's work delves into the ideological underpinnings of fascism, exploring how it seeks to radically transform society by promoting a vision of national rebirth and purity. He argues that fascism seeks to create a new man and a racially pure society. This vision is often propagated through powerful symbols, myths, and rituals designed to inspire and mobilize the masses. Robert Paxton, another renowned historian, focuses on fascism as a political behavior marked by an obsession with community decline and compensatory cults of unity and purity. Paxton's analysis highlights the dynamic and opportunistic nature of fascist movements, which adapt to changing circumstances to maintain their grip on power. He emphasizes the role of mass mobilization, propaganda, and violence in fascist regimes. Paxton's work underscores the importance of understanding the social and psychological mechanisms that drive individuals to support and participate in fascist movements, shedding light on the ways in which these regimes manipulate public sentiment and exploit societal fears. Section 7. The enduring relevance of understanding fascism. Understanding fascism remains crucial in the 21st century. By recognizing its defining characteristics, historical context, and potential for resurgence, we can better identify and combat its manifestations in the present. Education, critical thinking, and a commitment to democratic values are essential to preventing the rise of such dangerous ideologies. The lessons of the past serve as stark reminders of the devastating consequences of unchecked extremism. By understanding fascism, we can work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated.